Welcome back, Legion. I want to have a chat to you guys about how to manage stress during the lockdown. So, it's important to know that it's okay to be stressed at the moment. You know, life has changed and we need to adapt to those changes. Uncertainty is probably one of the biggest contributors. So, we've got to try and focus on what we can control rather than what you can't control. It's not that you never not want to be stressed. Like, stress is still important, and it's important to have a stress response and still find a way to get through a stressful situation. It's how you adapt and grow as a person. You just need to find a balance. So chronically being stressed isn't healthy, but a little period of stress is okay. You find a way to overcome, you adapt, and then you actually become better in other stressful situations. So the more you practice managing stress, the better you will be able to cope in stressful situations. So for anyone that has been, practicing, mindfulness or putting themselves in uncomfortable situations prior to this, they're probably finding it not relatively easy, but they're finding a way to cope a little bit easier. Those who haven't been able to deal with it as well probably haven't had as stressful situations in the past. So there is a couple of ways that we can start to manage our stress a little bit better, because it is important. Our health is really important, and being too stressed can actually suppress your immune system and then make you more susceptible. And then if you're sick, you can obviously worry even further. So the first thing I think is good to have a look at is to stay busy. Yeah. So create distractions so you don't think about worst case scenarios all the time. This is a good time to maybe pick up some reading, maybe read a book that you always wanted to read. You can start to learn something. You can take this time to learn, a musical instrument. You can learn certain techniques. You can learn something that you've always wanted to learn but have never had the time. You can do chores around the house, or you can clean the house up a little bit. You could find a new hobby, like growing vegetables, puzzles. There's so many different things that you could pick up that are stimulating in a way that just allow you to forget and get outside your own head. The next thing that I think would be really helpful is establishing a routine. So inherently as human beings, we do like routine. As much as we sometimes think we get bored, as soon as something changes, like what's happening right now, we all kind of freak out a little bit. So we do like routine. I think establishing a routine also gives you a little bit of control back. It feels like you've got control of your day because you are doing what you want to do. So you want to create new positive habits throughout your day, i.e., set regular eating times still. Don't just go and pick and eat at like weird hours of the day. Stick to your routine. If you have breakfast at 8 o'clock, have it at 8. Lunch at 12, snack at 4, dinner at 7. Stick to your regular times. Book in a time to work out. Actually book the time. There are a couple other ways you can get your workouts in if you can't quite squeeze in, like a full 45 minutes to an hour, is you can microdose your training. So you could do, 10 minutes in the morning, you could do 10 minutes at lunch, and then 10 minutes in the afternoon, yeah? That way you don't feel like you're wasting your time and you're actually getting up and getting out and moving around a little bit. It's also really important to, essentially schedule in some downtime as well. Make sure you're still relaxing and getting the things that you like to do in your day. Yes, you might have to get a little bit creative now because maybe some of the things you like to do are, outside your house or in a social environment. But there's plenty of, apps now, there's plenty of social interaction that we can still get a little bit of a taste of what we used to enjoy. The last one is more of a practice that you can start to develop, and that's meditation. So meditation is such a powerful practice, and it can have far-reaching effects. And I think we should just do it regardless of the situation. Anyway, so Headspace is a wonderful app. There are many others that you can try. Headspace is just the one that I use, so I can only testify for the content that they deliver. But it's the idea of just like, I like it because they have courses. So, you know, there's courses on stress management, there's courses on anxiety, there's courses on letting go, sleeping better, happiness. There's a range, which is all important. The content is relatively similar, but the intent to each session is a little bit different, and it's important to establish the intent of why you're meditating in the first place. Now, if you don't like meditation because you can't focus and you think too much, I encourage you to stick it out, because you probably need it the most. And I was very similar. Like I couldn't sit still and was thinking too much. But, you know, meditation is not about sitting still. It's about learning to be comfortable with your thoughts. Letting your thoughts come in, trying not to fight them, acknowledging them, and then letting them go. It helps if you focus on your breath, which is, at the end of the day, the absolute minimum of human survival. Like, it is the core of your being. Like, you need to be able to breathe to live. So focusing on that, like, bang, this is it. This is the most important thing right now. It's very powerful, and it has huge effects on the body. Do a little bit of research into it. Maybe I'll do a video later on specifically about breathing and the effects and power of breathing. But it also gives you something to focus on while you're meditating, because thoughts are going to pop in, they're going to come in. But if you've got something to kind of center yourself and bring yourself back to, which is breathing, it allows you to take a little bit more control. And it allows that concept of, like, thought comes in, oh, okay, look, I'm thinking about something. You know what? That's pretty cool. I'm just going to go back to my breathing. And, you know, this can help throughout the day when you're getting really cluttered and flustered and just things are popping in. You know, you just kind of stop and think to yourself, oh, geez, I'm thinking a bit much here. Let's just calm down. Let's go back to priority one and work through that. It's just like training, though. It's just like doing your workouts. You know, it takes time to get used to. So I want you to give it another go and try for at least 2 weeks, every day for 2 weeks. If you don't like it after that, fair enough, move on to another method, find something else that might help you relax. But you do have to have a fair crack at it. Like I said, it's like training. You know, you can't just do one workout and expect to be fitter, faster, stronger. You have to accumulate it over time, and meditation is this same kind of concept. Alright guys, hopefully that was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below, and have a happy Easter. Cheers.